Excited to get this guy on here. Had a historic season for the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, our guy Saul Bookman. He's been Trey Day since day one.
Since day one.
Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals tight end. Unbelievable season, man. Congratulations on that. It was just an honor for me to cover you throughout that. Anytime I felt like I talked to you about numbers, you're like, I don't really care about the numbers, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I don't really, I just kind of go out there and play, and whatever happens, happens. And I had no idea about most of that stuff. I was just out there playing, and whatever happened, happened.
Right.
And it ended up being pretty good, so it all worked out.
What was the biggest jump, like from year one to year two? Obviously, the playing time helps, but like it just seemed like at a certain point this season, boom, it clicked, and you just took off.
Yeah, I think it was just a lot of it was playing time, getting the opportunity to go out there and do what I do. And most of all, it's just experience, to get out there to play, to have that time with Kyler. He's a different quarterback, so he does a lot of different things than the other guys did. So just to have that time with him, the connection, that chemistry with one another, I think it just kind of came, and then once it hit, it hit. So.
But it was instant. It was instantaneous. He gets back, and everybody's joking. Jonathan Gannon saying in the press conference is like, hey, I told Kyler maybe temper those expectations, and he laughed in my face. And then Kyler and you come out and ball out. You've got 10 catches, 131. You're making, the big catch, big reception there to set yourself up for that game-winning field goal.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. Just Kyler, really, I don't know why. He just kept coming back to me. He kept throwing me the ball, and, that play at the end of the game really sticks out to me. He threw that real high corner, came back to it, caught it, and that kind of sealed it up for Matt to kick the chip shot in. But that was so cool, man, just to have Kyler have that trust in me to give me an opportunity. His first game back was very special.
Yeah, did you guys work together in the offseason at any point, just try and get some of that stuff down? I know he wasn't fully, because he was still coming back from the ACL.
You always try to work with those guys, but with him coming back from the knee, he was doing a lot of stuff one-on-one. It was more working with Colt McCoy when he was on the team, Clayton when he was there and stuff. So just working with those guys, trying to get the chemistry with them, because we weren't sure when we were going to have Kyler back. And, as soon as he came back, he gave me a chance, and, I took it and ran, so it was fun. Yeah.
You said in that press conference, you feel like nobody can guard you. We love that confidence. I mean, it was almost surprising to hear you say that in the presser, but we loved every second of it, and then it just continued to show up throughout the rest of the season. There were so many highlight plays. You mentioned, the 31-yard catch where you made the adjustment, came back.
Yeah.
There's the hurdle.
Yeah.
Can you take us through what the hell went through your mind when you decided to leap over a defender?
I got the screen, and then I was shaking it up the middle, and the safety was there. I knew I was pretty close to a first down. I didn't know what I had to do. I actually had a little banged up shoulder, so I knew I wasn't going to hit him and run him over. And I thought, oh, well, the only other option is to go up and over. I went up and over, and it worked out for me. Tried it a few more times. It didn't, work out as clean as the first one, but that was something that just kind of instantaneously, came up, and I just did it, and it worked out. So
I felt like you really dominated that Pittsburgh game.
Yep.
And that, to me, I was just like, oh, this dude fucking arrived right here, man. Like, take me through that last touchdown before halftime.
Yeah.
It's wet.
The second one?
It's rainy.
That he had to get?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
It's wet. It's drizzly. It's Pittsburgh. It's a legendary place. Like, what was going through your mind when you scored that touchdown? Because you were hyped on the field for sure.
Yeah. So I scored the first one actually, and then it wasn't raining at the time. We scored the first one, and then they were reviewing it. It took 10 minutes. It felt forever, but it was probably about 5 minutes.
It was a touchdown, by the way.
Yeah, so it started, and that time it started pouring, so I actually took my gloves off, and I put on new gloves, rain gloves, in that little adjustment between the first and the second one, and then they came back to me the next play. Kyler called another play. He said, I'm throwing you the ball if it's man-to-man. He threw me the ball, and, I got it in again, and then I was all hyped up, trying to tell the ref that I had to score twice for him, and, I was all fired up that game, but that was just a cool, huge momentum right before half.
Yeah.
I just love the wide array of catches that you're making, because even those two plays back to back, it's like you're making the play at the back of the end zone where you're going up, on that drive you had high pointed one, and then the next one you're boxing out. I gotta imagine you take an immense pride in how versatile your game is.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to do everything at the highest level. I want to be a great run blocking tight end. I want to be a guy who can be a mismatch in the pass game, and that's what I'm striving to be. I think the better you are at run blocking, the more open you're going to be, and Kyler, just getting on the same page with him. He's knowing how I'm going to run routes, and he's throwing me the ball when I'm open, and it's been a lot of fun. And I hope that we can continue to grow together and have a great career together.
Yeah, I love that development. You know, one of the things that I noticed about you at the Senior Bowl, when that was the first time I got to see you in person.
Yeah.
Heard a lot about you beforehand. Obviously, you were an All-American. You were one of the best tight ends in the country. But, you know, watching you play, I was surprised because there's other tight ends that are bigger, taller, right? But you were so fundamentally sound in terms of your route running, knowing exactly when to break and use your body to get away from defenders. In terms of the development from the Senior Bowl to the pro level, what kind of adjustments have you had to make in terms of because the athletes are obviously much better in the NFL?
Yeah, the speed of the game is a lot faster, obviously, and most of all, it's just knowing how to use your leverage, how to get open. You know, maybe you run a route on the paper, but it's not how you actually run it in a game. It's not 10 yards and out. Maybe it's 8 yards because that's when you're open. Maybe it's 12 yards. You know, and that's just being on the same page of the quarterback and knowing, you know, what we're going to do, what he's going to do, where he's going to throw me the ball, and then I just have to go and get open for him.
Is there anything in the works for you guys to get together this offseason? Maybe go down to Texas and work out with Kyler?
Yeah, that's kind of a plan. I think that would be great. You know, we're trying to get something together where we can all get together, you know, maybe throw some routes, things like that. But yeah, that's something that I really look forward to.
Yeah, I really love the Jonathan Gannon era now that has been implemented. You guys played so hard all season on both sides of the ball, you know, and the results weren't there in terms of wins and losses, but I really did feel like there was a vast improvement. And tell me if I'm wrong on this. It felt like from 1 to 53, guys were into every single game, regardless of what the score was. They just felt like they were always there.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like, you know, he's building that culture from the ground up and making our making us what we want to be. We're a tough team. We're a physical team, and we're, like you said, we're in every single game. Yeah. Our record wasn't, you know, what we wanted it to be, but I think we're a few possessions, few plays away from being the opposite record, you know, a 10-17, whatever that is, and things like that. But we're really close. We're not far off, and with Jonathan Gannon and Kyler at the helm, I think we have a great career, and I'm super excited for the future of this organization.
3-5 when Kyler came back. Probably should be 4-4, right? A 500 ball. It seems like there was a ton of momentum, and I know JG doesn't like to talk about momentum, but look, it was real. We'll say it, not him. But I mean, what's the perception now for you for Kyler Murray? One of the best quarterbacks in the league? Yeah,
I think he's a franchise guy. He's a guy who's proven it, and a guy who, you know, he's a leader of this organization, and he's a guy that he's got my back, I got his, and I'm excited to continue to play with him, to continue to grow, and I think that he's the guy, and he's going to take us to the promised land.
A lot of guys talk about like a catchable ball. I've never played wide receiver or tight end in the NFL, so I don't know what the hell that feels like. How's Kyler's ball when it comes towards you?
You know, I was catching it all this whole year, and it was phenomenal. He throws a great ball. He has so many different arm angles. He throws like a baseball player. He rolls out. He throws sidearm. This guy does it all. He's a tremendous athlete and someone that at all times you got to be ready for the ball because you don't know what he's going to do.
How much do you pay attention to the draft? You got 4th overall pick, 27th overall pick. There's a playmaker out of Ohio State. It'd be a pretty nice compliment to 85 in the Cardinals offense to have a 6'4" playmaker out there.
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, Marvin's a great player. Obviously, I've seen the film and everyone's talking about him. And you know, if we get him and we are able to draft him, I think that would be a great pick. And I'm super excited for whoever we get. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, he would definitely help out, no doubt.
You still follow your Colorado State Rams?
Absolutely, man. Those guys.
Because there's a sleeper to me for next year because he ended up going back. Torrey Horton. Yeah. I love his game. Yeah. He really blew up against Colorado earlier in the year. Yep. What do you think about him?
Torrey's a great player. He's a guy who's humble. He's comes from the right things. He's a great player and a guy who's going to be a great NFL player. He's going to do great things this year at Colorado State, and I think he's going to improve his draft stock and be a high draft pick next year.
For sure. Let's get your opinion on it here before we get out of here. Of course, Trey McBride, the Cardinals tight end, out here on behalf of Wasserman Group, your great agency, talking to Field Yates, who does great work in fantasy football for ESPN. And I said, you were a McBride's maid early on.
Yes, sir.
Or is it a McBride or die? What do you prefer as far as like kind of your fan base, or what do you like? What's your favorite nickname?
You know, I'm kind of good with whatever. You know, there's so many that everyone was throwing out there. You know, I like it all, man. Yeah. You can fire them all at me and keep hitting them with me. It's so fun. But I just want to go out there, keep making plays for you guys, and continue to be a fan favorite here. years. So,
all right, my co-host is devastated. He's missing out on this Johnny Venerable. He's a true McBridesmaid. So is Saul Bookman. He was I
was the president of the fan club.
Yeah.
Johnny was like an honorary member.
Yeah, it was trade A from day one for Saul Bookman. And I have to give the flowers there. But flowers to you on a great season. Man. 80 catches, 800 yards. Now, absolute just a fixture now going forward for the Arizona Cardinals. Congratulations on all the success, man.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah,
go Cardinals.